The government has expanded booster and third dose vaccinations to include senior citizens and some immunocompromised individuals. The IATF is looking to include OFWs in the A1 priority group, which is originally limited to health workers. Military resupply missions to the Ayungin Shoal have resumed today after the standoff with the Chinese Coast Guard last week. Pork and poultry prices have gone up amid increased demand and limited supply. The Agriculture Department is now suggesting alternatives for consumers. Pinoy pole vaulter Olympian Obiena threatens retirement after claims that he had falsified liquidation reports and failed to pay his coach. And K-pop group BTS wins big in this year's AMAs, or American Music Awards, bagging 3 plums, including Artist of the Year. Focused and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. Seniors and immunocompromised individuals may now receive their COVID-19 booster shots or additional doses. Greg Gregorio with the rest of the story.
More priority groups are now eligible to receive their COVID-19 booster shots and additional doses. The government expanded the rollout to senior citizens and select immunocompromised individuals today. Last week, medical frontliners were the first recipients of the extra jabs. According to the World Health Organization, booster doses are administered to those who have already completed their vaccine series, be it 1 or 2 doses. The objective is to restore their vaccine's effectiveness after waning over time. Third or additional doses, meanwhile, are part of the extended primary series itself. They optimize or enhance the immune response of the individual, especially the immunocompromised and seniors. Vaccine expert panel head Nina Gloriani was among the first recipients of Monday's ceremonial kickoff. The 68-year-old Gloriani had been fully vaxxed with Sinovac last March. She chose Sinovac as booster, as receiving another vax brand is contraindicated. In other words, Gloriani has had a homologous vaccination.
May iniinom akong gamot na pwede ako mag-blood clot, yung mga ganon. And then I have a lot of allergies. I'm thinking more of the safety for myself, and for others who may have the same, who may be in similar circumstances.
60-year-old Jaime Montoya of the SciTech Department's R&D Council also had his booster dose. But unlike Gloriani, Montoya received Pfizer after 2 Sinovac doses or a heterologous vaccination.
There is increasing evidence that it is beneficial also to use a different platform from the previous one that was given to you.
Health Secretary Francisco Duque said the rest of the A3 group may follow suit next week. The interagency task force, meanwhile, is looking to include overseas Filipinos as part of the A1 group.
In order to maintain our competitive advantage as well as protect the much-needed livelihood of our OFWs as well as seafarers, dahil po sila ay pasok sa pagiging A1, being the economic frontliner.
However, Vaccine Czar Carlito Galvez said vaccine brands' updated emergency use permits have yet to cover OFWs. To date, approved brands as booster or additional doses are Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, and Sinovac. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
And the MMDA is pushing to bring back the number coding scheme in Metro Manila, but only for the afternoon rush hour. MMDA Chairman Benher Abalos says they will recommend to the MMC or Metro Manila Council the re-implementation of the coding scheme from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. The agency noted that vehicle volume in the NCR's major thoroughfares is fast approaching pre-pandemic levels at 405,000 a day.
Recommending that gawin muna nating hapon, subukan natin 5 to 8 ang color coding, no? So that pero exempted ang mga public transport. Kasi importante ang public transport, ang mga taxi, check, of course, medical health workers at iba pa.
And the Defense Department says the aborted resupply mission to the Ayungin shoal has resumed today. Secretary Lorenzana says the ships are expected to reach the BRP Sierra Madre in Ayungin tomorrow with no interference. He says that the Chinese embassy has expressed cooperation, but only if the ships are without a military escort. Meanwhile, President Duterte has expressed dissent over the incident at Ayungin last week, where Chinese Coast Guard vessels fired water cannons at Philippine military supply boats. We're going to pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News now. I'm Sean Yao. Prices of chicken and pork have increased alongside demand as the holidays are fast approaching. Shaila Francisco with the rest of that report.
Sisig, Bicol Express, and liempo are just some of the dishes available at this restaurant in Quezon City. The assistant manager says they've been cooking more of their best sellers with more customers dining in. So they double their orders of pork, chicken, and other ingredients from their suppliers.
Halos nagiging normal na. Ngayon po, lumuluwag na po tayo, gumaganda na po yung pagsiservisyo namin sa mga tao.
Increased demand like this is one of the reasons why chicken and pork prices have gone up. According to the Agriculture Department, prices of pork now reach up to 420 pesos. Chicken prices, meanwhile, have gone up by at least 10 pesos. Amid increased demand, supply remains tight. Aside from dealing with the effects of the African swine fever, some raisers have become more conservative in producing for fear of losses.
Natural naman yan dahil sa ibang bansa, pag nagbubukas na, nauuna yung demand bago sumusunod yung supply mo. Yung isa tayo sa huling nagbubukas ng ekonomiya, inabot na tayo nito mga problema sa presyo ng mga inputs katulad ng soya, ng mais, ng langis.
Producers say prices are expected to go up further as Christmas season nears. The DA has no decision yet on whether to impose a suggested retail price on pork since consultations are still ongoing. For now, the agency advises consumers to consider frozen varieties and other alternatives.
Instead of pork or beef, meron po tayong chicken, meron tayong fish. Pinakamurang protein source ay itlog.
Meanwhile, prices of Christmas packs are expected to go down. Supermarkets and suppliers are now preparing Christmas promos and discounts. They expect bulk of consumers to buy within the first 2 weeks of December. Shaila Francisco, we are One News.
Olympic pole vaulter Ayungin Obiena is facing an internal investigation after claims that he had embezzled payments for his coach. Obiena has threatened retirement over what he calls an attack on his reputation. Marty Bautista with that story.
As I said, if you want a textbook example of how to destroy an athlete, you're seeing it right here and now.
It was a somber Sunday evening when Ayungin Obiena stated this in his urgent press conference on November 21. An article was published on Saturday stating that the Philippine Athletics Track and Field Association has at their possession documents that prove Obiena has falsified the liquidations he submitted to the federation. PATAFA claims that the 2019 Summer Universiade gold medalist fabricated accounts and even failed to compensate his longtime coach, Vitaly Petrov. The total amount owed climbed to 85,000 euros, or about 4.8 million pesos. Obiena insisted that the accusations were untrue.
It's a disgusting abuse of power. The entire incident has damaged my reputation and is now forever a part of my history.
According to Obiena, he had kept this incident a private matter between him and PATAFA. However, due to the article that was published about the issue, he was pushed to take things publicly. Obiena's coach Vitaly Petrov stands with his trainee. He even showed proof that he had initially sent a letter to PATAFA clarifying that Obiena has compensated him properly.
My job is him now. All this will necessary stop in this situation. Only money for me necessary. I put a lot of development this boy.
Obiena says Vitaly has been with him in his pole vault journey since 2014. If the PATAFA decides to move forward with the investigation, or if it requires EJ to replace Vitaly with a Filipino coach, Obiena said he will just retire from his decorated pole vaulting career.
The only resolution to this now is a full and public withdrawal of investigation and a full public apology from the authorities involved in this.
For its part, PATAFA claims that their probe was prompted by a letter signed by Obiena's coach, Vitaly, who claimed that he was not properly compensated. The association also rejected Obiena's claim of character assassination, stressing that the investigation was not for public consumption. The Federation insists there had been discrepancies on Obiena's liquidation reports, including delayed payments, which prompted the investigation. For News 5, Marty Bautista. We are One News.
Here's a quick look at today's other top stories. The suspect in the rock-throwing incident at the MRT-3 is now under police custody at the Pasay City Substation 4. The 29-year-old suspect injured one passenger after throwing a rock at an MRT-3 train coach on Sunday. MRT-3 management will be filing several complaints against the suspect, including one for malicious mischief. The Interior Department will be tapping members of the SK or Sangguniang Kabataan as data encoders for the Bayanihan Bakunahan program. Other government agencies and offices have also been instructed to extend all possible support for the 3-day vaccination program. The National Mass Vaccination Campaign will run from November 29 until December 1. And international pop group BTS wins Artist of the Year at the American Music Awards. They managed to beat rival nominees Ariana Grande, Drake, Olivia Rodrigo, Taylor Swift, and The Weeknd. The boys also won Group of the Year and Favorite Pop Song. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.